And we are black.
Black again.
Black at it again.
All right. It's a 2-on-2 basketball podcast
Yes.
with your hosts, Bongani and Steve.
That's right.
Yo, it's been a minute.
It's been too long, man. It's been too long. So excited to be back.
26 January.
I think we took
2025.
We took a great sabbatical.
Yeah, we did.
I know you have been back on the court since our last
great
podcast.
sabbatical it has been.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations
To get back.
on knocking out. I don't know, you guys. What did you want? A moon?
Not exactly.
How can you do that to the sun?
To the sun. It's a Big Bang Theory. We won't get into that, but
Anyway, congratulations.
there's life
It's a
after.
good. Yeah, hey, be careful what you say.
Okay.
You might be wearing that uniform in a couple of.
You know what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, it's been great. Yes, we've been away for some time.
That's right.
Wrapped up the season. I think since the last episode, we're still active in the league.
That's right.
Yeah, which was since captured again by the Material Magic, as you know. I don't know why I smile every time I talk about this, but
It's becoming like a broken record now. Like, come on, guys, somebody, can you knock these brothers out? Because we can't even say anything anymore. Now we want to wear Matero jerseys. All of us just want to wear Matero jerseys.
I mean, it's gotta be, man.
I've tried to support some teams, no names mentioned, but guys, come on, show us something.
But what did you think of the league, though? I mean, you followed it through and through. What's your greatest highlight, greatest disappointment?
I think some of the things we've even spoken about them in some previous episodes. I think there's been some teams which have recently emerged, shown such great potential. One of the teams which unfortunately collapsed when we really were hoping that they'll super take off, our own K.
Okay.
The guys from.
Well, no, they're still in the championship. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
So yeah.
So yeah,
they have a
but
chance
I think there was just a lot of great promise from teams that I saw, which is good because I think the pecking order has been the same guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, in the championship, they kind of ended up kind of the same teams that we kind of. I was hoping
predicted
it was gonna be a few changes, but like the Kings came through in the clutch.
Yeah. No, but I think the
Clinch the
Kings,
spot.
they needed to clinch that because of the resources that they put in for, just to bring the team together.
That's right.
Because, I mean, of course, we spoke about the combination of great players,
Yeah.
into one, the resurgence of, you could say, former pessers,
Yes.
So, yeah, I think for me, I was rooting for them, even though they won't believe that, but I was rooting for them to make it to the championship. Although at the expense of my favorite, the Bulldogs.
Exactly. So I was pretty hurt.
Yeah,
That the Bulldogs, whatever happened, man, they were silenced like puppies.
puppy dogs.
Yeah, unfortunate. Come on. Hey, man. Sometimes like you're really rooting for somebody and you're really hoping that these guys will just make some noise. I mean, you don't have to win a championship,
No,
but you just have to put yourself in a position where everybody looks at you and says, okay, they're
we
coming.
have something.
But I think they did a good job. Perhaps the experience also will help that, they competed at that level.
Yeah.
And obviously last minute, unfortunately
out.
fell short. But I think it's a great, it's something to pick up on.
Yeah, it's a
going
good
into the
platform
next
for them.
season. Right.
It's a young team. That's one thing that we have to know. Of course, they have a vet in Chama, but then overall, it's a young team.
Yeah.
And if they keep the culture and maybe add a few more players to it, yeah, I think that they have a good future.
It reminds me of like a team like, the Detroit Pistons right now, right? That's a team that nobody was looking at in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, because they kept the core together for such a long time, in my opinion, they have now blossomed into this team that they're really giving even the best of teams like a really hard time, right? I think one of their best player was I don't know if he's going to be in the reserve team, the
Right.
All Star, or I don't know if he's. I'm not so sure. I need to just look at what's going on right now. But they have actually made noise or making noise this season.
The
I
bad
think they
boy
beat some
Pistons is back. Yeah.
exactly. You know what I mean? But I think it also speaks to the fact that they kept that core team together. Guys like Kate who are leading
Yeah.
that pack, and now we are seeing the surgeons of
Right.
this team, and we cannot imagine what they will be because now they're going to start attracting superstars who
They
want to
will.
play in a market like that.
Right.
So if they bring in one really good piece with the current team that is already there, who knows how far they can go. And I feel like it's a similar story with a team like the Bulldogs, right? They've got a vet presence, but maybe add another vet
Yeah.
who just come and say, okay, guys, let's
This is how we do.
let's get it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, opportunity is there. Like I said, they're a young team, so nothing to feel bad about. I think it happened, but like you definitely put the league on notice.
Yeah.
And that's an exciting thing.
Great stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, like we said, we're in the championship season now. So qualifying for Lusaka, we had Matera Magic, Buffaloes, the Munali Suns, and of course Lusaka Basket Kings.
Nothing new there.
Nothing.
Well, apart from the Kings, who I think in the previous season were in the B League, but promoted and straight out to the top four. That was something too.
Okay, so from the onset, would you have predicted the outcomes? In terms of how the semifinals have panned out. Like all the soccer teams, no copper belt anywhere.
In the beginning, I actually before we got into like the championship, I feel like yes, there was a moment where we thought, okay, you know what, it's going to be it might be all Osaka teams because of where we're coming from.
Yeah.
But then when they started and we saw some teams, e.g., the teams from Eastern Province, blowing out teams, I was like, okay, are we in for like something different, like some competition? It was such a nice thing to see for me.
It was, and well, it was actually up against one of my teams, like Magic B.
Yes,
and yeah, it
was a shock.
It was shocking, it was for Jameson Sonics.
Yes,
versus Material Magic B, and this game was interesting because every time, well, you're born and raised in Osaka, you have that pompous kind of character.
Yeah.
To say this is where the game was birthed, more like, more like you have the rights, to the game, to a point where every other person you may want to, you'll be more like inclined to look down upon them. Yeah, but with this one, we as Magic opted not to play the first game.
Okay.
Okay, so already going to game 2, we're at a 20-point deficit.
Oh yeah,
which we had to recoup, right? So we go there for game 2, and boy,
they're ready.
Boy, it was a Mfakeni war once again. Bingones of Chapata,
our brothers from the east,
shoulders, yes,
brothers from the east,
representing. I was happy,
awesome.
I was happy.
Yeah,
personally,
it was a nice shocker, but like it was like, okay, guys. I think it also speaks to how the game is growing.
Yeah,
outside Lusaka.
That's
right?
good.
Because even from the Copper Belt,
right?
I think we had some.
And there was an upset there.
Yes,
there was an upset there. So, who was it? So 2 teams from here traveled that side. Now this is the A League.
That's right.
Yeah,
it was the Magnets, right?
Yeah, so Magnets versus what were they playing?
Was it the Magic?
No. Magic was here.
Oh yeah.
Magic was here.
So they were going up against their own, right?
So from the Copper Belt, you had Muflira Magnets.
That's right.
Yeah, IC Tigers. These games were happening that side.
Yeah.
So Muf and they were up against Lusaka Basket Kings and Munali Suns, respectively.
Oh yeah. That was that game with the Kings, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, build up to this game, there's always talk, from the Copper Belt. But Lusaka, you had nothing. stuff like that. You're nothing. So there's I think the beef will always be there
Yeah.
between Lusaka and the Copper Belt. And I think I love it. I love it. But um, can there be more action than talk?
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm saying this from the Copper Belt.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, yeah,
They run their mouths so much.
so much they forget about the game.
I agree.
And it's not really helping, when you're pompous and really got nothing to show for it.
I agree.
Because then you chase away the very people that can actually help you,
That's right. Yeah.
to develop, So, yeah, I feel the talent is there, yes, but then is there room for improvement? A lot of it,
I agree.
a lot
I
of it.
totally agree. I think, sometimes, I think we're having a similar discussion offline regards just when something is working well
Yeah.
and you can emulate, adopt something that can help you also get better, I think you might want to use it. So, like you're saying, you have opportunity not only if you're seeing some teams that are dominating
Yeah.
and season in, season out, they keep knocking you out.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's important to sit and think, what can we pick up from that team, right?
Yeah.
How are they bringing the team together? How's the culture there?
Right.
What makes them so good and consistent,
Mhm.
right? So, same story, some teams from the Copper Belt who are genuinely good have a good opportunity to give even the Lusaka teams like a run.
Yeah.
But just that opportunity just that struggle to finish.
Mhm.
And maybe that's why you need some of this, I don't know whether it's just some players or some talent that is just exposed and experienced.
Yeah.
And can help you just move up. But the question is, do you think there's any player who's playing in Lusaka who would wanna go play?
With the right incentive? Yes. With the right, because I remember a time when there was an emergence of Lunga Bullets.
That's right.
Yeah, Lunga Bullets. This was a team sponsored, I think, at the time by Shawi Fawaz, who was at some point ZBA president.
That's right.
Yeah, uh, they they were a team to beat. Because they had attracted the best talents in Osaka.
That's right.
Talk of Malindi Chipili,
That's right.
Sizmtela Kuntepa, Webi,
They were
Abu,
playing for Lunga.
yeah,
Wow.
Mulenga, who's now coach at Kings.
That's right.
Yeah. So they made such a big team, which every time they came to Lusaka, everybody just wanted to watch them. I wanted to watch them because of the highlights.
Exactly.
Because of the swag. I began to think they had a better arena that side. Yet
Really?
it was just outdoor, yeah, and semi-outdoor courts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with the right incentives, they will attract. And guess what? They have the potential because as Zambia, we pride ourselves in the copper production.
Exactly.
Though that's a copper hub. So they
you've got the giants right there, the
Right
potential sponsors to help and move the game forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So championship is on.
Championship is on.
I think we spoke to your success and how you guys are in the finals.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy, really. It wasn't easy. I know the first scoreline may argue the case, but it wasn't easy because we, as Material Magic, knew the team that we're playing against. Nali Sans, who themselves have been to BL, qualifiers. So it is something that we approach cautiously. Yeah. Because we knew we're fighting a team that had the experience we had as well. And with every success, I think it breeds that selfishness, to want to always achieve, to always want to be on top. And we felt, any slip up, they would take advantage of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I also feel like, having watched that game, or at least the latter part of that,
that's
game
one.
one.
Yeah.
I felt like, and I'm glad that in game two they came alive
Yeah.
But game one, there was a point when I just thought they lowered their heads. I think they'd given up at some point, and that's why towards the end, the scoreline was just like widening. You know, but like you say, you know, it's a team that have got they've been at the top.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess that's why they came. Is the best thing you want to see in a team. You don't want a team to have a bad game one and then come and have a bad game two, right? I mean,
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
if you ask me,
There has to be some fight.
yeah,
You know, there
come
has to be
back
some
and
fight.
give it your all, which I think they did, and you know, it's evident in the scoreline.
Yeah.
So that's the entertainment we want.
That's the entertainment we
That's
want.
the love of the game. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see people being nice and
You know,
bowing to the master in this case.
No, and speaking of the same, you know, we're a collective in as much as we're individual teams.
Yeah.
But we're a collective in the way we represent,
That's
you know, Zambia and everything else. So the competition we face here determines how well we perform outside.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So when teams are being blown out in the semifinals, that should be
A cause for concern.
Yes.
I agree.
You know, it should be a cause for concern because yes, last season Magic went out and in the first round they went 5-0. Second round they were without a win. So those are some of the things that now as Zambia basketball we need to look at and say how best can we compete.
That's right.
You know, yes, I saw some article yesterday by a Sans
enthusiast.
Yeah, empathizer. You know,
tell me about that article.
Yeah, no, he was simply saying, okay, yeah, we lost. Yeah, we lost to the Americans, but bro, the Americans are rocking blue and Magic on their shirts. So I feel if Matero Magic, who is your number one in the league, and the current holders of the championship, have raised the bar, how about the competition raises the bar also? Exactly. You know?
And actually, when you say that, it just reminds me because there's history to the game, right? So these teams haven't been started competing today.
No.
Right?
No.
And some of the players that the Magic has probably brought in were not always there.
No.
So let's go back to history and look at the success. Then we can speak. If you're going to come here and tell us you guys beat us because of ABC.
You know what I mean,
bro? Let's go back to history and show us where you know you gave us similar problems.
Yeah,
and you can say, okay, you know what? Indeed, these guys have maybe given us an unfair advantage. But bro, basketball is basketball, and I think if you can get any player, do what you need to do and
do what you need to do.
Play for you.
You know,
the one thing I will say personally is, you know, I think over time, and maybe it speaks to the general development of the game.
Yeah,
we have to figure out how, you know, some of the teams that might not have a good budget,
right?
You know, can reach a point where they can also attract good talent. Obviously, it's incentive based, but you know, it also speaks to the organization, which I think you guys have done well as an organization to come together, you know, coordinate, and you are able to, you know, manage to get in some of this talent even from outside the country, which is great. You know, and we know that not every team can do that, you know, but some of those things, I think they are not, as much as, yes, we expect the individual teams to do it, I think the league also needs to think, how do we put our league in a position where
it's attractive,
talent to come from outside and come and play here and compete. So it's a little bit of an indictment on ourselves, and it's a challenge to the guys in the forefront. How do we start thinking ahead to get to the point? Because, bro, some of that talent is needed for the entertainment of the game, for the growth of the game. You know, we want to see something different and diverse. You know, and like I say, if you're going to go to international tournaments, you want to have, you know, the best players on the team who can put you in that position to win.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think that's a very short-sighted way of thinking from that enthusiast. And I'd like to read the article myself before I jump in.
No, you see it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just my thought, man. So I think there's a battle going on currently for the finals. I think semi-finals right now. Series
going
still
to game 3. Yeah, going to game 3. So the Buffaloes.
Yes.
Yeah. the wounded Buffaloes
Yes.
because they lost the first game to the Kings.
That's right.
Yeah. Turns out they are Kings after all.
Indeed.
Yeah, indeed.
No, the Kings are royal men. Respect. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, game two was rather interesting. You know, because of
I didn't
course,
watch that game, but how did it go?
the few clips that I caught, I saw a dejected Kings team.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I don't know if game one had a toe on them, because we need to understand this. Kings, mm, yeah, they came together, but then I think they called the team old timers from Unza places, So I think we spoke about this earlier. Could it be an effect on the legs, as old timers?
I mean, if you're going to be honest, highly likely. Because, I mean, I think about it, right? In this, I mean, we're thinking about it. Sometimes they've got back to back games, right?
Mhm.
You play a game today and you've got another game the following day. How is the process of recovery for a guy who's way into his 30s compared to a 25-year-old, 23-year-old guy, right? Yeah. So, yes, I feel like, sometimes if you get a knock, for you to come back from that knock, definitely takes a lot longer, right?
Take longer.
Speaking and I've got somebody on that team who's one of my good friends. So I always make fun of it. Hey man, you're a 40-year-old guy and you're pushing. You're still battling this 23-year-old.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, so I don't want to mention his name because I know he'll come for me. But yeah, I mean, you've got guys about that age on that team, right? And it's probably a majority of the team. I like they've got youngsters on the team also, with the Farais.
Right, Dingane Hara.
Yes. So those guys, I think, are also ingesting some. So it's a good balance. But yes, I believe majority of the team is guys who are vets in this league.
Yeah.
Been playing for 20 years, 15 years of experience in the game.
I used to watch those guys when I was young.
There you go. There you go. And now you are the vet. You are the
right? And they're still there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so that might have an effect, but I think we're really looking forward to game 3.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be fun because we want to send the best to the finals.
Yes,
because the Magic will be rested. You guys were able to clinch your series early, so you guys will be rested and ready. So we want a team also that will be able to match that energy, but also that experience. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We want a finals that is worth watching.
Right.
Finals. We're going to put money on that finals in terms of watching the game, in terms of whatever, buying drinks and whatever we need to buy, but we have to watch those finals. So, man, I'm just happy in the state of the game generally.
Yeah.
I think concerns as far as what we can do, we have spoken out so many times out here. I still feel like there's challenges, and I'll continue to call out, ZBF, MBA guys. We've got a lot that we can do. I feel like we need to figure out a situation where we can get more money in the game.
More money.
Bottom
monetize the game.
Monetize the game. Whether it's just sponsors, what do we need to do?
What do you think is the challenge there?
Man.
Because I think I've been hearing this from, well, I can't even remember how far back, but from the times of, there used to be a league sponsor, ZDPA, I think, at the time. And, the managing director then, I think Mr. Dagan or something, if I remember correctly, had a daughter playing in the league.
Okay.
She used to play for Nets.
That's right.
She recently visited the country, I think about a month or so ago. She's a legend now. She's a lady.
That's right.
So I just asked her openly, like, what happened to you guys? Like, what happened? What's with the sponsorship? Don't you guys want to come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she highlighted a few things to me, saying there are concerns with the mismanagement of fans. And
that's the start. Any area, especially public funds like that. I think accountability is crucial and key, right? And if you have, like you're saying, a potential partner or a partner who you have in the pocket, way better than a partner that you don't have in the pocket. So in this instance, if you had ZDPA, they were sponsors. They were already giving you money. You know, what's the best thing to do? Do it right. If you mess up the relationships, go back. This is, we call it low-hanging fruit in the business end, because you've already someone who's got experience you've worked with. It's easier to convert that kind of a person or a sponsor than you go out into the mining field and try and find.
That's true. It's more difficult, to fish out. Yeah.
So if someone raises a concern, a potential partner like that raises a concern for whatever reason, I think it's important that, again, heads come together and say, guys, we are here. We have been caught some issue of misappropriation of funds. Is it an issue of getting rid of some people? You know, because not everybody is responsible for money in a setup like that.
Yeah, sure.
So if there was misappropriation of funds, who was the guy who was in charge, who messed up and did ABCD? But for me, I feel like, you know, basketball is a product, right? If you go to the NBA, they protect their products. They protect their assets from the athletes themselves, you know, the teams. So when you've got a product and it's good, then you can market it out there and it will attract a client, it will attract a sponsor, it will attract ABCD. But in this case, I feel like our game, it's attractive to you and me because we are avid fans of the game. You know, we love the game, we follow, we are in these circles. But if a guy is coming from outside, like independently comes and watches, or, you know, watches a game and sees something, like, what's their first impression of it?
Right.
You know, they'll enjoy the game on the floor, but they'll walk around and look and say, okay, you know what? How come we don't have any banner around here hanging? You know, how come you don't have, like, you know, proper seating arrangement? How come the arena is smaller? You're getting all these people cramped up. There's a lot of questions that you have, and you might not get an opportunity to have those questions answered. And you come and you say, oh, okay, I had a good time watching the game of basketball and I went.
No, and I like the idea of you speaking of basketball as a product.
Yes.
You know, because then it brings in a new perspective of how you can actually look at this thing.
Yeah.
You know, if it is a product, then it's something that you want to sell.
That's right.
You know, and if it's something that you want to sell, then it's you have a market for it, a target market in mind.
Yeah.
Right. So you package it in such a way that is attractive to that target market.
Exactly.
You know, and with that, you're able to gauge to say, how are we doing with the sales?
That's right.
You know, what do we need to improve, you know, to increase sales? You know? Yeah, I
totally agree. So you add value to the product so that you can take it out and float it out there. So I personally don't feel like we are doing a very good job at packaging the product that we have and taking it out there to the market, because I genuinely feel like by now you would have had 3 or so regular sponsors that you can go back to. Partners, actually, not sponsors, but partners who you say, you know what, every season is starting, this is our budget. Where can you guys meet us? At least meet us halfway or meet us somewhere. Not the whole budget, but at least meet us somewhere. You know, but right now we're still depending on individuals. And it's a challenge to the people that are in front. I mean, it's a challenge to all of us, but we still have people who we've entrusted with the responsibility of being in the forefront of this. And those are the people who can galvanize all of us who are interested parties. I mean, people like myself, we are there. You know, maybe I'm in this media space. I'm willing to play a role in whatever area I can play a role and say, hey, guys, this is what I can do. This is my network that I can bring to the fore and maybe help. But I don't know if there's room for that right now.
I'd like to believe there is. You know,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, the people who are in leadership now are former players, you know, former admins of teams. So I want to believe that, you know.
I also want to believe that. And like I've said, we're here. We do that.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you want to connect with us and further this discussion from there,
please.
We are here to work. But ultimately, man, we want to see the game grow.
Yes, sir.
And when the game grows,
we grow.
We enjoy. So, man, we go on. The conversation continues.
Yes, sir.
You know, these conversations, we have them off and on air. So sometimes it's a good
It's a non-stop.
exactly, exactly. But yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to who's gonna come victorious today.
Who's your money on?
You know what? I'm gonna put it on the Kings.
The Kings.
I'm gonna put it on the Kings.
Right. Okay.
And that's not to say, they're my favorite teams, but I just feel like they've got what it takes.
I would agree with you. I'd agree with you. But I saw guns blazing yesterday, and
Different Buffalo.
man, that Eddie Vumba boy,
Yeah,
that Wilfred guy,
yeah.
Money Mike.
Tell me something
Bro.
actually, before, and as we are wrapping it up,
Yeah.
just tell me as a player yourself, what happens to a team when they are playing with their backs against the ropes? That you see certain people come to life. Why is it like that? Like I see some players who just like will play when their backs against the wall. A guy I know is like your Sylvester from the Kings.
Yeah.
I've seen him when his back is against the wall. I think he's a
monster.
way better player than when he's just playing.
He's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there's always that push, like when you've lost it, but then the only thing you can play for is your pride.
Wow.
The
Right.
only thing you can play for is your pride. Yeah.
So put it all out there.
You put it all out there.
Throw anything out there.
So
and hope that it catches.
your mind is in a different zone at that point, because you're not thinking, oh my God, I have to look nice.
Yeah.
It has to look sexy in some kind of way. No, you're just playing ball, to win it. It's all about the desire. It's about the heart.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit personal also,
That's right.
because you're saying, this guy can't guard me.
Screw it.
When it gets to that, you do
You are
things
nothing.
that you didn't even know you could do.
You are nothing.
You are nothing,
You are nothing. Well, man, it has been 2-on-2 podcast once again. I think it's been good to have some fun with you, my boy.
It was a pleasure, sir.
Absolutely. We're signing out. Catch us on the next episode. We'll be back with more. Actually, I'm hoping by then we can have some idea of how the finals have panned out.
Yeah. Pray for us.
We're out. The best. We are out.